Hello, guys. It's Janet here with the Higher Self Voice. Welcome, welcome. I just had some technical difficulties, barely got on in this moment, so if I'm a little frazzled, that's why. I did drop my phone in the water, and it seemed to be working perfectly, but it wouldn't take the dial-in PIN number for me. So I'm on the computer. I have to shift my focus between the video now and the computer so that the people listening can hear. And anyway, I think everything will be fine. I'm kind of used to it. I've had plenty of technical difficulties over the many years I've been doing it. Anyway, it is Series 2 for this show, and it's about your energetic fields. Today is episode 3 in the energetic field series, and it's about how to make neutralizing a lifestyle. Okay. Now, before I go on, I want to just say you can find the show on Blog Talk Radio because I do record it as video, which is on YouTube, and I record it on Blog Talk. Blog Talk posts it on all the smartphones, you guys, on the podcast apps. It comes automatically on the iPhone, but I believe you have to download it for the Samsung and the Android, but it's free. You can get it and use it your heart's content. If you go onto Higher Self Voice Radio, I'll show up. All my shows, I think, since 2014. In any case, I don't have that many video shows, but I don't know, I think I have 10 or 12 or 15, I don't remember. Not important. Anyway, you can also email me. You have any questions, any comments, freakouts, anything. You can email me at jvvmrichmond@gmail.com. So that's it. So today we are going to talk about how to make neutralizing lifestyle. The prior 2 shows, first of all, I explained the energetics, beginning with thought. I explained neutralizing. Today, it's putting it all together so that you can make it a part of your everyday life, or many days of your life. Now, you may think that's basic, but really, it is this information can apply to other things other than neutralizing. I mean, don't we all have things that we want to start new? Like maybe we want to get to work on time, maybe we want to meditate more often, maybe we want to lose weight, whatever it is, we all have new, quote unquote, regimes, new patterns we wish to establish. This is just one of them, but it is so important because how many of the hundreds and thousands of patterns that you've heard people want to start, not so many are spiritually oriented. Not so many deal with the very important part of our energetics that we carry, the soul mind that we are. So I encourage you to take this information for the neutralizing and anything else you want to use it for. Okay. I've come up with a gym analogy. Some people have heard it before, and sometimes I just touch on it here or there, how going to the gym for the first time really fits with starting work on yourself for the first time, okay? I've tried to come up with different analogies, but it's just such a good one that I just fall back on it. And it's expanded and extended for this show. There's parts of it you may not have heard before. If you heard it before, and if you heard it for the first time, I think it's going to inspire you. You're going to get it at some inner level. That's why I'm giving this. Now, just to remind you about the energetics, remember I talked about, and I have a nice little chart here. I don't have a chart today, but a nice little chart that showed that the 4 energetic bodies that the higher selves discuss, there are many, many more, but the 4 that they really discuss, really went into detail with, are the thought form body, the habit body, the emotional response body, and the creative body. And those 4 are so key to our lives because whatever we carry in there is mirrored in our outer reality. So if we have issues, difficulties, problems, fears, concerns, discordance, whatever we have out there, it's because we're already carrying it inside. That's why it's so important. If you want that mirror to reflect that outer reality to reflect great life in many different ways, guess what? You have to pay attention to the energetic garbage. I started with the thoughts, how thought works, how it moves into the thought form body, how each thought has its own magnetic signature and gloms on to like thoughts. I discussed neutralizing, the steps on how to do it. First, you amalgamate, you give permission for the divine energies we carry, the energies of the pure soul essence, and for the fifth dimensionals that for the most part are watching the show, the true soul essence. Those two areas of divine energies, we want to activate it. We use the focus of attention. Remember, we focus on it, and that focus gives it permission to those divine energies to operate in the free will kingdom. They cannot trespass. We have to ask them in, invite them in, and also becoming one, of course, with the originating source. And I explain all those things in the prior two shows, especially that it is the divine energy that does the healing. It does the neutralizing. Remember, you can't destroy any of that thought energy, but you can change the nature of it. You can neutralize it, taking away the magnetic energy it carries, and then use that neutral energy, move it into that pure soul essence light of yours, and it becomes whatever it touches, and it actually empowers that light. You have to know that the light that we carry within, because of the eons of lives we didn't know it existed, it kind of is pulsing at kind of a low level. It still has the purity, the perfection, and it is everything that the originating source was, is, and is becoming. But hey, this is a way we doubly help ourselves. First, we neutralize. The neutralizations help shift the balance between the negative and positive in those energetic bodies. And then, guess what? It also empowers our pure soul essence. The more this work you do, the more that pure soul essence light intensifies and grows. Hey guys, why not? Okay, so that's a little bit of review. So now we are going to get to the gym. Now, here's the analogy. You decided, okay, I am going to get in shape physically for whatever reason, and there's hundreds of them. We sometimes ignore the physical body. We're so busy taking care of family, children, career, relationships, whatever, that often the physical body is kind of, we don't pay as much attention to it perhaps as we should. So one day you decide, okay, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not putting it off anymore. I'm going to get in shape. Now, you can get in shape in a lot of different ways, but I use the gym as an example. So you decide to go to the gym, and whatever day you go, you walk, and it's the first time that you've been in a gym. And guess what? Right in front of you is hundreds of machines, bicycles, weights, classes, just so much going on, so much choice, so much new that you're overwhelmed. You don't know where to begin. You have goals in mind. You know what you want to accomplish, whether it's weight loss or toning the body or both. Whatever it is, you might have a specific physical problem you want to strengthen and improve by getting those muscles going. Whatever the reasons, you have the goals, but you don't know where to start. So you might, to orient you, you might decide to get a trainer. And just for a day or two or three to help teach you what you need to know, what machines will work for you, show you how to do it, give you the techniques. After that, you can continue on your own. And that's what I think of myself. I've been the orienter or the trainer, so to speak. I've oriented you in the prior two shows to the energies, to the process. And this is the third step to help you really take the process in and make it your own. I do an awful lot of healing on myself and on others in groups, individuals, clients, everything, but I can't do it for everyone. It isn't me doing it in any case. I'm kind of the trainer in all of those cases, but you walk into a gym, who actually gets on the machine and does the work? Who actually lifts the weights and goes to the spin classes? It's not the trainer. It's you. And it's the same thing here. The trainer, the orienter, whatever you want to call me in the energetic sense, doesn't do the work. You guys do it. And the more independent you become, the better it is for you. Okay, so what's important? Well, you go to the gym. What is important? That you have self-commitment, that you commit to the process of getting yourself in shape. If you go to the gym once every 3-4 weeks, maybe every couple of months, or even once a week, chances are you're not going to see the results. And if you see them, they're going to be barely there. What happens? You quit, right? You just plain quit because you're not seeing results. The self-commitment says, I'm going to go 2 or 3 times a week, whatever you decide, maybe 4 or 5 times. It's just important that each individual choose that commitment level and stick to it if possible. I'm going to get to that stick to it part in a bit. It's the same with energetic work, guys. It's the absolute same, because if you do the energetic work once every couple, 3 weeks, randomly here or there, does it help on some level? Yes, absolutely it does, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But you're not going to see the shifts and the changes in your life that will help to motivate you. If you go to the gym, if you do the energetic work consistently, guess what? It's going to start to manifest those shifts and changes. Absolutely. And guess what happens? We're motivated to keep doing it. If you start seeing weight come off, you start seeing things that were flabby start to getting toned, you're really, really going to continue. You're going to feel good about what you're doing for yourself, and you're going to want to continue. Everything I'm saying, I know everybody can relate to it. I'm not telling you anything new, but it's important that you connect what you know to the energetic work as well. That's important, because so many of us never did the energetic work before, never did anything like it for the most part. So many of you have done energetic work. I'm talking to people who tune into me because they are interested in this kind of thing, but I still think it's important to connect it to our everyday lives. All right. Now here's another issue. When you go to the gym is open all the time. I mean, it opens at 5 or 6 a.m. for those early birds, and it closes at midnight for those who come really late. And often it's open 7 days a week. So you have time as an individual to decide what time works for you. Some people have a very definite schedule in their week, so they might choose to come every day or 3 days a week before work or at lunch or after work. Perhaps during the working day doesn't even work, and they can only go on the weekends and once in a while in the week. And then there are those of us who have a different schedule every day. And what do? You pick random times to go, but you actually have to kind of schedule it in. And I'm the queen of scheduling in things. I have random days. Every day is completely different from one another, and there's many like that. So when I decide I don't do it for the energetic work because it's a lifestyle. I don't need to do it anymore, but you can actually schedule it in. You put time aside so you don't make other appointments or other plans for that time. So it's up to each individual to do it, to find your time. There is no right time. Okay. Now, the amount of time is something I need to talk about. When you're talking about the gym, when you're talking, say, running or whatever else you might decide to do for an exercise routine, there's often this desire to go to the gym and be there for 30 minutes, maybe minimal, or 45 or an hour, or even more. And so when you're putting time aside for the gym, you put aside a basic time to drive there, do the workout, and drive home or drive where you're going. With the energetic work, the time consideration isn't near as long, and it's not necessarily as long. If you want to spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour on the energetic work, absolutely. No one is telling you you can't do that. And you're going to find that you will do it when something particularly difficult is happening in your life. You're motivated to go in and get rid of the the emotional issues, the upheavals, the difficulties, the upsets, whatever it is, you're motivated. So it is at those times, I've sometimes worked even an hour and a half. Sometimes I start to get information that's so fascinating, I just keep going with it, and something unfolds for an hour and a half, an hour to hour and a half, and I'm like, whoa. So it happens even for me, even when I'm not upset or having something difficult in my life. I'm just asking some questions and have no idea what's going to unfold. But in any case, everybody's going to be different. In this case, though, I want to be clear. If you have 5 minutes, you're going to get something done. If you amalgamate, and the more you do it, the faster the amalgamation is. In the beginning, at least for me, I was so concerned, well, I got to do this wording and this order, and if I didn't do it exactly what I was thinking it had to be, I had to start all over. I thought I had to start all over again. Remember, I've been doing it a long time, and nobody really taught us any of that, because all the information came in for the first time for Joan Culpepper is for us, so she didn't have the experience that I now have over 30 plus years. So I'm telling you, you will get very quick at the amalgamation. You still need to focus. You still can't say A, B, C, D. You have to focus to activate it. And after you get used to doing that, and it can be very, very short, I now have a shortcut where I say, okay, I am the divine amalgamation. And just like that, I'm in the amalgamated state at all of the levels I've taught you. But I've just recently gotten that shortcut. Before, still, it took me a very short time, and you'll get that way where it might take you 30 seconds or 45 seconds, 15 seconds, maybe in the beginning a minute. But once you're in that state of amalgamation, just start to release. Even just going into amalgamation is positive for you. It gives you a positive benefit. But if you have an added minute, you can go ahead and let go of the energies. So the amount of time is not as important, maybe, as going to the gym or running or bicycling or swimming or whatever you might be doing other than the gym. But because in this work, every little bit helps. Every little bit that you're neutralizing is gone. It doesn't come back to haunt you. So every bit you do helps. Okay, now, I do it in the strangest places. I do a lot when I'm walking, but I'm unloading the dishwasher. 3-4 minutes, the dishes are away, but it's mindless work, right? If you're playing chess, I don't think you're going to be able to neutralize. You might want to amalgamate before you start your game so that you're operating at the highest level you can. Chances are you'll move out of the amalgamation in time as your focus becomes the game. But in any case, you probably won't be doing much neutralizing when you're doing something like that, or you're working hard on a project for work or whatever. But you can do it a lot of times when you have downtime. You know, you're standing in line somewhere. The post office is like perfect place because it's a long line often, and, you know, instead of being agitated and frustrated because it's taking so long, do some neutralizing. Spend 3, 4, 5 minutes, or heaven forbid, 20 minutes in a post office line and take care of a few things. Okay. Now, I have to say the first 3 weeks of making this a lifestyle is the hardest. And if you've been someone that's exercised regularly, when you go away from it and you're out of the habit, getting back into it can take a good 3 weeks. It takes about 3 weeks. I used to be a runner, ran for 25 years as a hobby, just running for exercise. And for whatever reason, I'm pregnant, having a baby, whatever, I would stop it. And when I started up again, it would take me about 3 weeks. So it means you might have some issues with willpower. You might need to kind of push through in the beginning. And it's the same for any kind of new pattern that we're trying to establish, new healthy patterns. Anything new can take a little bit of willpower. After 3 weeks, and sometimes it's as little as 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, when you miss it, when you don't do it, you really miss it. You're motivated to continue. You have established a new pattern of activity, and it really helps. Just warning you, you might need a little bit of that willpower. Okay. So I have notes, by the way, guys, in case you didn't notice, because it's not like I give the same talk every week and I have it memorized. I give something different every week. There's no need to memorize it, but I like to make sure I keep in the order so I don't forget things. So anyway, now you're going to okay, when your body gets to the place where you want, you've gone to the gym now 6 months, 10 months, a year, whatever it is, you finally are at the weight you're at, you finally feel really good about how your body is toned. Do you make the decision, I don't have to go anymore. I got to where I was. That's it, right? I don't think so. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go back to where you started. And so you go on to some sort of maintenance program. And come to find out, the maintenance program is very much a part of your lifestyle, probably won't change all that much to what you did to get to where you were going. And it is the same with the energetic work. I've had many clients who've come to me. They have one issue they need to resolve. I had one client who came, she was on the verge of killing herself, and that was her main issue. Well, after she cleared it, guess what? Then up came all these new things, that some of which were reasons why she wanted to kill herself in the first place. So we started to go from this to expand, and I've had that many times. I think I mentioned somebody in my results show that all she wanted to do was improve the relationship with her brother, her twin brother. And they'd gotten the last couple of decades seeing each other once a decade and barely ever communicating. That took a very short time, but she didn't quit. She kept going because new things come up. Her fear of people, for example. Okay, that's a pretty big issue, but it was nothing. It never came to her mind until the brother issue was cleared. So that's what I'm saying. You don't want to ever lose this neutralizing as a lifestyle. You want to continue it because it continues to unfold. Not only the things that bother you or upset you, but you start to find who you really are inside, start to find gifts and talents, start to feel so much better. It's just, insights. Who knew? Never 10 years ago, let alone 20 or 30 years ago, would I have even the slightest clue I would write a book, let alone 2, let alone writing my 3rd, let alone any of that. Leading a group? Hello? No way. Talking on, doing YouTube videos? So what happens is, as you get more and more of that energetic garbage, that unlimited nature that you are starts to bubble up, starts to present itself. It is just fabulous. And as I said back in the results show, I've done 180 degrees in my life many times. Okay, turning my life around in so many good ways. Okay, so if you don't get to the gym, I just want to encourage everyone. If you don't get to the gym, you miss a week, you miss 3 weeks, for whatever reason, worth going through an intense time, you have a baby, you're out of town, some loved one is going through some difficulties, and you're putting all your extra time to that. I really don't want people to get on themselves, to criticize themselves, to judge themselves, to say, I'm just, and then when we get out of it, sometimes we keep going even when the crisis or the specific distraction is over. But just like they say, when you fall off the horse, get back on. It's the same with diets. If you go off your diet, it's not the end of the world. You just, easier said than done, you get back on. And it's the same with this work. It's the same with the gym. It's the same with this. There are going to be times in your life where you're not doing it. There are absolutely going to be times in your life. I certainly had times, and there were times when I didn't do it for 2 or 3 months at a time. And then I'm like, how's this working for you? It doesn't. You don't see the shifts and changes that you're getting used to, and then you're motivated to start again. So I'm just encouraging you to accept we're all part of humanity, and it just is not going to, please don't get upset if you miss out. Now, how does this relate to fifth dimensionals? This, in some ways, everything is the same for all of the humanities, whether it's a true human or a fifth dimensional. We all have the human soul. We all take on, over eons of time, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of lives, if not millions of lives. We've taken on these energetics. We have a huge well of energetics to neutralize, to dissolve, to get rid of, okay, so that we can build something beautiful and new in our lives day after day. But here's the difference. As fifth dimensionals, we've done it before. When we were preparing to graduate into the fifth dimension, we had to do the entire clearing of all of the energetics. Had to, or we couldn't have graduated. So all of us that carry the dual soul nature doesn't make us any better than anyone else. In this way, we have a little bit of an advantage. Why? Because true humans are learning to do it. They're learning the process. For us, we're remembering the process. And I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of muscle memory. If you learn a skill, maybe when you're a kid, then you stop it for 10 or 20 years and then you come back to it, you're going to pick it up faster than someone who never did it as a child. It is that memory, that muscle memory, I'm not sure how it works, but I've heard about it forever. That's there in this way too. We have the unremembered remembrances. And when we get into the process, it is a little bit easier for us because we have that muscle memory of the process. We've also demonstrated it probably at least once, if not 5 times, on other planets, in other lifetimes that we have returned to planets similar to this, where we went through this process. But in any case, either way, we have that muscle memory. It stands us in good stead. Don't forget, we also have the energetic thrust, very powerful, much more powerful now than when I started. So, in fact, it's wind at our backs. It's going to help us move through this process at an accelerated rate more efficiently. But even if it takes you 6 months to a year to completely neutralize a pattern, or 90%, and change your life in some way, isn't that better than having lived with it for a decade or 2 or 3 or your entire life, however old you may be? It may take some time, guys, but it's worth it every step of the way. And I would say if you started the lifestyle now, this is what I used to tell my early meetup group members, within a year, you take it on as a lifestyle, your lives will be changed. And I saw it over and over again. Do they still have things to do? Of course. We always do. I do. Everyone. The more we do, the better off we are. So anyway, with that, the time is running out. So I want to say thank you so much for being part of my group. I love everybody. It's just one of my very favorite days of the week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, if you want to contact me for any reason, JVVMR, strike that, JVVMRichmond at gmail.com, and it's J as in Janet, VV as Victor, M as in Mary, Richmond at gmail.com. Now next week I'm going to be talking about the habit body. It is another one of those energetic bodies. I do believe I'll only need a week for that one. It's a little bit easier to explain than the thought form body or the emotional body. The emotional body, emotional response body, will probably take 3 sessions as well. I'm not sure yet, but the habit body, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to explain to you next week very easily. It won't take too much time for you to understand it. In any case, I wish you all the best of this next week. Hope for those who are experiencing some very difficult weather in the east and the south. Really let you know that we're, all of us are concerned and send good energy. And with that, I will say goodbye.